Welcome to my Python programming tutorial. This video I discuss about the join method of thread and isAlive method of thread and how to use these methods in the thread programming. First load the appropriate packages. So I'm just loading thread class from threading, import thread, and import time as well. Import time and create a class first. So let's say I'm creating a class called table. So this is I'm going to use this class to create a multiplication table, right? This is extended from the thread class, and first define the init method. So define, this is acting as a constructor, and this take one self parameter, right? So that is done, and call the thread class init method. So this is the base class constructor. So because table is extended or it is derived from the thread base class, so I'm just calling the superclass constructor thread dot init of self. Okay, and my constructor, I'm taking one more parameter which is n. So that is used to get the what table you want to print as a second table or third table. So that to just to get the n value, so the number of the table which we need to print. So I create a private variable here, self dot underscore number equal to n. So I'm just assigning that n to this private variable. Fine. So my init method is done. This is the time to define or override the run method. So actually the logic, we need to write the logic here. Okay, logic here. So any thread's logic we need to put it inside the run method. Okay, so let's create some for loop for I in range of 1, 11. My iterations are 1 to 10. That's why I'm limiting with 11. Then I try to print the multiplication table. So how to print? First let's print the value of I, then print the value of, okay, then I need a multiplication symbol, and it is multiplied with, okay, all right, then I put a space here, multiplied with I into the number, that is I dot self dot number dot number. Okay, fine, and I just need to show that equal to sign. Okay, and after that I just need to really multiply with I with self dot number. Fine. Okay, so I will be printed, that is 1 will be printed. Let's say in case of a second table, 1 will be printed, multiplication symbol, self dot number. So in case if I pass 2 to this number, 2 will be printed, and equal to sign will be printed. Then I value and the number which is passed get multiplied. I mean the product of 1 into 1 2s are 2. The next iteration I becomes 2, then 2 2s are 4, something like that it will print. Okay, let us test this. So to test it, we just need to create a main method first. So underscore name double equal to underscore main. Sorry, it's a okay, main method we created inside. So let us create a set of objects. So what I do is I just say that t1 equal to thread1 equal to table of, okay, 5. So because when I create a object, I need to pass n value, this is 5, and then I create a t2 object thread, okay, t2 thread table of so this time I pass 3. Now what is this? Actually we have created a thread. Okay, create t1 thread, or T1 is born, we can say. Okay, T1 is born. Then here T2 is born. It's created, otherwise we can say. Now after this, I just need to start it. Okay, T1 start, T2 dot start. Oh, sorry, T2 dot start. Now what happens? This put your thread into what? Ready state, and this also put your thread into a ready state. Now after calling this start, your in turn this will again invoke your run method. Okay, fine. Now okay, T1 dot start, T2 dot start, it is done. And after that what we have to do is yeah, just run the code and see what is happening. I'm getting an error. Oh, there's a mistake. Yeah, fine. Just clear my output screen so that it will be easy to understand. Okay, now look at, oh, something differently it is printing 1. No, it's actually, it's not 11, 1, and printed by thread 1, and again T2 also printed 1. Meanwhile 1 into 5 again into 3. It's not coming in a proper order. What happens, so we just have a main method. Okay, we have a main thread, and T1 thread we created. Okay, T1 thread created, T2 thread created. Now we have a CPU. Okay, as soon as this Python program is executed, okay, when it is executed, so first item is the main thread get executed. Now what happens? The main thread create the T1 thread and T2 thread. Now T1 and T2 both get placed in the ready queue and getting executed by the what? CPU. Okay, let's say this is CPU based on the time slice, as I have discussed in the previous video. Now the processor is actually switching its execution between T1 and T2. Okay, T1, T2, T1, T2, T1, T2. This process which we basically called as context switching, CS. Okay, how to define context switching? Context switching is a process of saving the current state of your, let's say if it is executing T1 thread, the state of T1 thread is saved and it jumps to T2 for execution. Now once it comes back from T2, so that your CPU understand, okay, where it left and continue from that position. Let's say for example, when you look at the program, so here there are some 10 different iterations. Now assume that there are 5 iterations completed when it is coming out of the CPU, remaining 5 is there. How does the CPU comes to know that it has to continue from the 6th? So that's the reason why the context switching is very important when the threads switch between. So this is what actually happens. Now somewhere the main thread start and it finishes also. So when you look at the program, we don't have any idea where it starts and where it finishes. So what I do, I just do a print statement here. Okay, put a print statement saying that main thread started and main thread stopped also. We can main thread stopped. Okay, now let us run this code. Okay, oh, there is a indentation problem. Fine, the main thread started here, and again some instead of exact multiplication table, I am getting some zigzag operations. Okay, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Again I am getting 301. That means meanwhile your second thread has started. That's why I'm it's got printed 1. Again 7. Between main thread has stopped, and again second thread continues. This is not a good practice. When we have a program, when we have a main thread, okay, main thread is the parent thread. Okay, this is the parent thread. This parent thread need to wait for the completion of what? The T2 as well as T1. Now this is something like, otherwise it creates a awkward situation, because the main is the one which is responsible for creating this thread and it is no more, and that literally creates a awkward situation. That's the reason why we just need to ensure that the main method needs to wait till T1 and T2 completed. Now how to do that? How I ensure that the main thread will wait for T1 and T2? So for that we have a join method. Join method comes in handy to help us. Okay, so this join the thread with the main thread. Now let us see how it works. So T1 dot join. Okay, fine. Just run the code. Now what happens? Look at main thread started. My first thread again started executing it, and the second thread started. Meanwhile, okay, the main thread stopped. Okay, now this is again not completing this again. When you look at, the second thread has not completed its execution, and meanwhile the main thread has stopped. So this is also need to be addressed. So I need one more join statement after starting T2 dot join. Okay, now let me clear the screen and run it again. Okay, now look at, the main thread started, fine. The first thread got executed, my fifth multiplication table got printed, and my second multiplication got printed, then the main thread has stopped. So join method basically help us to understand, the join method basically help us to make the join method basically helps us to combine a thread with another thread. Okay, now T1 is dot join means that T1 is joined with the main thread. So the main thread will wait. Okay, so here after creation of starting of T1, okay, after starting, so we are calling the join thread. So when I say join, so there is an attachment between these two, that is your main thread and this one. So the main thread will wait now, wait for this event to happen, that is, let us finish this. Now after starting of T2 also we are joining. Okay, join method is called. Now what happens? The T2 is also what? Joined with the main method. Now main method waits for the completion of T2. After that it will exit. That is what happening when we run this code. Okay, the main thread started, first thread got executed, that is my T1, and second thread got executed, that is my T2, and so main thread finally stopped. So simple program. I made a class, and this I have a run method. The logic is to print a multiplication table. So I have two threads. One is printing the fifth multiplication table based on the input parameter I am passing while creating an object. So this is assigned to a self variable, that is a private variable number, and again second thread I'm passing 3, so it is creating third table, and finally it's ending up, that is main method is ending up. Now isAlive, what is the use of this? isAlive is a method which is used to check whether the thread is alive or not. Okay, how to check it? Now we can use a print statement here and see. Okay, let's say print thread, I would say T2 is alive. Okay, comma, I can call is time dot is alive. Sorry, I made a mistake. I alive, call T2 dot is alive. Okay, this is the object I need to inspect now. Okay, I put a statement here, is alive, T2 alive, is alive after start. Okay, after join. And one more statement I put, before starting. Okay, T2 created, alive, before start. Obviously, this alive method will return either true or false, depends on the status of the thread. Okay, now if the thread is alive, this will isAlive method. Okay, we have a isAlive method. isAlive will return true if the thread is running. It will return false if the thread is already finished its execution. So how to call this? With the help of an object. So either T1 or T2, that is the thread we have created. Now look at, I have thread 1, T1 and T2. So both are useful for doing some job, and again I can use the isAlive method, T2.isAlive. This is the way to call. So which object you want to check, that object name you have to use. So here I am checking just T2 object. Run it. Now you can see here T2 is alive before start. No. T2 is alive after join. Yes. No, it is not alive because already it has completed its execution. Now suppose when you wanted to see that whether it is alive or not, when it is running, you can put a statement inside here as well. Okay, again so each and every statement in a multiplication statement, in between every output you can see that. That's why I'm just skipping that. You can put a statement inside, otherwise you can have some conditional execution, whether the range is like this 2 or 3. Okay, let's print what is the status, something like that. Also you can do it and check okay, the thread is alive or not. This is very useful to know that whether the thread is available in the memory or not. Okay, so if it is available, you can take some decision based on that. Hope you have enjoyed the discussion. So how to use join and how to use alive and how it is working and how to implement it in the program. Thank you for watching the video.